we're seeing energy generation go down. At the same time, technology and other investments need to be made to bring businesses here. And the reliable energy, the cheap energy that we used to have a decade or more ago was our only competitive advantage with our neighbors. And we're pushing that away by these poor political policies.
As State Representative C.D. Davidsmeyer yesterday raising the alarm about the state's energy infrastructure and pushing back against the idea of getting away from coal-fired power plants while you've got technology on the increase that's going to suck up a lot of energy. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wake up with us each and every weekday morning for the live show where you can join a lively group of people who tune in each and every morning. Or you can get the podcast where you get podcasts. All right, let's talk about electric vehicles and the energy grid. And it's not just electric vehicles that are going to put more pressure on the energy grid. I mean, every summer, the energy grid gets stressed as we get the severe heat. Here in central Illinois, we get all seasons. We get the severe heat, we get the deep cold, and everything in between. So obviously that's going to put some pressure on the energy grid. But then you start working in data centers and the efforts of quantum computing. And then Governor J.B. Pritzker's push to have 1 million electric vehicles on the roads by 2030, while you've also got laws in effect in the state of Illinois that require coal-fired power plants to shut down by 2035 and 2040. And this is all in an effort to try to push so-called renewable energy, wind, solar. There's even now a push to lift the nuclear moratorium in Illinois so that we can get back to having large-scale nuclear power plants in the state of Illinois. So we'll hear more from Republicans who say we need to change course in the state to essentially get back to base load generation so that we're not going to be strapped with the possibility of blackouts and brownouts. Also, the cost. It's starting to increase. The warning is that people are going to see a 50% increase in their power bills. You've even got energy regulators saying that the planning's not there to be ready for the future in the short term, and we're going to see serious crunches on energy. So a lot at stake here with the issues of how we're going to go about generating energy and making up for the increase of technology like electric vehicles. So we've seen the push for electric vehicles, and there's always tax incentives to bring electric vehicle manufacturers here. Lion Electric out of Joliet was going to get tens of millions of dollars in tax incentives a couple of years ago. Governor Pritzker was part of a ribbon cutting for Lion Electric. They were going to make electric school buses. Well, the news is now that they're liquidating, going bankrupt. But yesterday, the governor's office did announce a new electric bus manufacturer that's going to be investing in Illinois. So maybe that'll make up for Lion Electric not being able to make the cut. But you've also got Rivian in the state of Illinois. Rivian has direct-to-customer sales. Tesla sells vehicles in Illinois direct to the customer. They've had their auto dealer license from the state of Illinois for 10 years, if not more, for Tesla. But there's an effort at the State House, while one side saying, buy electric vehicles, we'll give you a tax credit if you buy an electric vehicle. But now there's an effort to say, don't buy an electric vehicle direct, buy it from a local dealer. Here is State Senator Ram Villivalam saying that this is necessary because, well, he says Tesla's doing horrible. Here's Ram Villivalam from yesterday during a news conference.
Continue to support our auto dealers to do the work that they're doing and do it even more, especially at a time where Tesla is doing terrible.
So he says Tesla's doing terrible, but Tesla will still be able to sell vehicles even if this measure passes. Here is a representative from the Illinois Auto Dealers Association talking about what exactly this bill does.
Regarding EV investments, between 2022 and January 2024, Illinois dealers have invested over $170 million in EV infrastructure to support the transition to EVs, including charging stations, service upgrades, and training technicians. These investments are made in good faith, based on assurances and agreements from manufacturers that dealers receive new EV models and the gas-electric hybrid models that VW and Scout plan to sell. But now some of those manufacturers are creating spin-off company subsidiaries to sell direct, bypassing the very dealers that help build those brands and build trust in their communities. And so that's what Senate Bill 1939 prevents. It simply says if you already have a dealer network, you can't bypass your local partners by spinning off new brands and selling them directly.
So again, limiting the availability of choice for consumers, some would argue, saying that, hey, if a new startup EV company comes out with a cheap EV, $10,000, $15,000, or whatever it is, and it's only direct to consumer, well, if this measure passes and that company doesn't have a dealer license in Illinois, then they're not going to be able to get a dealer license. They'll have to try to get some kind of cooperation with a local brick and mortar auto dealer. So that's the efforts there. Ron Villivalum says it's all about jobs.
I believe that we are, with this legislation, working with our auto dealers, supporting them, and making sure that we continue to protect Illinois jobs. That's my job as an Illinois state senator. It's to stand up for Illinois jobs, union jobs in our state as well, and not to focus on and lift up companies that are based in right-to-work states that do not use union labor and so forth.
So again, we've heard for years, buy electric vehicles. The governor giving out tax credits and tax incentives to companies and individuals in the EV marketplace to try to spur on more EVs. But now we've got this measure coming in saying that, well, wait a second. We want you to buy an EV, but don't buy that EV from a company that's not going through a local dealer. That aside, let's look at the energy snapshot, right? Here's Representative Brad Halbrook yesterday with other Republicans talking about the need for change in Illinois' energy landscape because it's not looking good. Prices expected to increase, energy reliability expected to decrease, all while you've got technology increasing like electric vehicles, data centers, quantum computing, AI, and so on.
We're seeing skyrocketing energy cost, unreliable service, and an increasing dependence on imported electricity, energy that is often less clean than what we formerly produced here. Meanwhile, we're losing good-paying jobs and prematurely closing coal and natural gas plants that have powered our homes and communities. Some Republicans warned that this would happen. We said that this legislation would destabilize our grid and raise prices. We were right. The truth is, renewables alone cannot meet demand without the support of reliable inertia-based generation from coal, natural gas, and nuclear. That is the backbone of a stable energy system.
So again, Halbrook laying out that Illinois' energy portfolio. Yeah, sure, there's a place for it with wind and solar and maybe some battery storage, but I mean, you're not going to really get much more than 12% any given day, if not a little bit more if it's a windy day, but it doesn't always blow wind and the sun doesn't always shine. And sometimes you need base load power to keep the grid up and running, especially if you're looking at higher energy usage during the summer months while everybody's plugging in their electric vehicles. How is this going to play out? Here's Representative Davidsmeyer.
We're seeing energy generation go down at the same time technology and other investments need to be made to bring businesses here. And the reliable energy, the cheap energy that we used to have a decade or more ago was our only competitive advantage with our neighbors. And we're pushing that away by these poor political policies.
So again, Davidsmeyer just highlighting how you've got these policies that were put in place to get rid of coal-fired power plants by 2035 and 2040. That alone was enough to say that these power plants don't invest in your power plants. Several weeks ago, State Senator Bill Cunningham, a Democrat from Chicago, was pushing a tax incentive bill for more electric battery capacity and allowing for companies to come in and get tax credits if they build batteries to hold electricity for the possibility of base load. It's not really going to be base load. It'll just be drawing off a battery. But regardless, they want to try to increase battery capacity in the state of Illinois. When I asked him during that news conference a couple of weeks ago, is it premature to close coal-fired power plants? He said, they were already going to close. They were already going to close. Even Governor J.B. Pritzker providing that same type of sentiment a while while back when all of this continued to be unfolding in the State House and ultimately passing. But State Representative Brown Halbrook said that narrative is not true because it's the law signaled to coal-fired power plants that, hey, we're not going to do this. We're not going to keep this thing running with the investments it's needed if we've got a deadline here that we're going to have to close.
You know, there's ongoing maintenance that continues to happen. So if they know they're going to have to close by a certain date, they're going to just quit spending the money on the maintenance, right? These are month-long or 2-month-long shutdowns, if you will, I think is the terminology, where they come in and rehab a fair amount of the facility. And again, if it's whatever it costs, whether it's multi-million dollars, if they say, hey, look, we've got to shut down in 2 years, they're just not going to spend the money. So it's a false narrative that the governor puts out about this is not economically viable to continue to do that.
Well, we'll see what happens coming up this summer, I guess, right? With purchasing energy from other states possible because of energy that's needed in the state of Illinois to keep air conditioners running, let alone charging your electric vehicle. Are there going to be any substantive energy policies advanced before May 31st? Not sure. We'll be watching on the ground as we continue on with Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wake up with us each and every weekday morning for Illinois in Focus Daily.